fresh glaze on the D-low. Pulling up, smoking haze through the back door. We get that fresh glaze on the D-low. Pulling up, smoking haze for days. We get that fresh glaze on the D-low. Pulling up, smoking haze through the back door. We get that fresh glaze on the D-low. Pulling up, smoking haze through the back door.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
as a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented
Might you know where Miss Chow lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off now.
You can't beat the atmosphere here and leave it.
он передвигается. Господи, я знаю, что вы все меня хотите, но можно я с этим займусь?
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins. I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants, that's what the hairpins were for, but now that I've lost the hair...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong...
Would you really? I sent a commission to the...
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have...
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, true. Though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Херня не говори.
Right.
Женщина.
I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Chicho looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Seems right.
Please. Please, however much it is, now that it's come to this,
Yes, legally speaking, it's... So hold on a moment, Monsieur...
What did I feel? My family has seen...
Smooth to the... No, it's nothing.
Бля, печенек не даю доесть.
Seems all the other knights already have their...
Прости, но твоя озвучка меня бесит. Мне Делюксу нравится озвучка.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too.
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive...
I'm sorry. Truly I am.
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't...
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again... It was in fact genuine Smaragd...
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll...
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpin?
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Monsieur Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find.
The atmosphere here and the
Я-то зачем? Простите, косточка нож.
Miss Yenfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is there is a chance that the Orin laid on those.
What do you mean?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found if mere mortals come into contact with it. Well, Mr. Chow, did you at any?
No, not at.
Now that is, if I've deduced correctly, he may still have this.
If that's the case, we should go confront.
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. And then he'd throw the Smaragdus. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this,
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how I don't believe you have been part of an investigation.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. I've got it. Let's pick. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Ай.
Why, hello there, honored customer.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnyan merchant named Crossell enlisted your
A Snezhnyan merchant named Crossell, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his. Why, yes.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look.
If my eyes don't deceive me, yes. It's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy.
Is that so? Well, we might... So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards?
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that if these two stones actually, there may be only a subtle and, I'm sure.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind.
Miss Yenfei?
If you could just confirm for me once more,
Yes.
then I have no further questions.
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. This document shall serve as
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's been an...
With this hard evidence to back us...
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a cake. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are... as such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make...
Yes, well, that's no obstacle. You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is... Oh, this has nothing to do with being...
Again, with that cat?
Well, that's that then. Let's go...
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yes, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Singxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were... Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded...
Thank you, Singxi. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure. It isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone...
I believe we have almost all the evidence.
The weirdo with the snake around it?
Because only he can provide an authority. Once we have this final...
To what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No, no. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality, and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yenfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus Jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus Jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhnayan merchant?
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever.
I can't read what this
Is
says.
it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Please, show me your prescription. I can't read what this says.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid with... Now, the contract states very clearly that
Material evidence? What material? I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So...
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to...
Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document for. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the ministry.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And it.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case. I'm referring to the affidavit signed by Dr. Baiju of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I'm referring to the affidavit signed.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over Mr. Crossell. Were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of. However, don't worry, Mr. Cross. I trust that you'll give them your.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Cross.
Huh? No,
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to? You do understand, Mr. Crossell. Your answer, please.
He's seriously intimidating right now.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was. But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get my. That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only.
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus, if word got out that I sold.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing.
10 times.
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragd.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much more. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake.
Ms. Jichao.
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Well, that's not quite.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you
Oh, come on. No need to stand.
Well
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client had.
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Cross, I could see from the hair if we could join forces.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny.
Exactly. Usually, even though.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, an Adeptus. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Может, не стоило начинать этот стрим, я знал, что значит наступает, так кто же такое? Лучше бы я спал днем. Неужели режим тебе вернул? когда этот в армию уйдет.
I
это
still
будет
have a lot to
за-
do at the guild. How about you take a rest while I go back?
Да, всем привет, с вами Ава Гром, и у меня новый парень. Действуй, мужики! Е! Ну и девочки тоже. Я за ЛГБТ. Я защищаю их. Это мое право.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all the materials.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get...
Oh, you.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Good. It Yanfei might be. Leo. All right then. Let.
Oh, Paimon's so excited!
It is but a single. There we go. Hold it firmly. Take these blueprints with you as well.
Wait a minute, Granny!
Oh, you need.
Да, на Европе я его уже получал.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Сам Twitch на ютубе своего канала. Кто пишет? 42-го смотрю. Ну вот, Валерий пишет, точнее, Влад. Правильнее.
This is a peaceful neighborhood. You should really bring the... Knights of Favonius with you next time.
Ну там я просто в первом, а тут вот. Вообще не понимаю, что происходит. Что за пиздец?
Guess we can rest a bit.
Выполнить какое-то задание.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
все кружек уже. Кстати, сколько стрим идет у меня? 52 только. Без понятия, но я сейчас занят кое-каким делом. Так. Да, это в прямом эфире на ютубе. Какой жесть. Еще и ВК отвечать надо было. Ох, потерпи, только осталось. Я вместе за пойду спать, вместе с кисой. Так, подожди.
I created another universe and...
I have gathered everyone here today to make an perhaps some of you will have heard the news.
Rebuild the Jade Chamber?
So the rumors are true. The Jade
Lady Ningguang.
Patience. Nevertheless, the building site has been chosen. They are as follows: Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils.
Excuse my ignorance, Lady Ningguang. I'm familiar enough with Plostrite, but I've never even heard of those other two.
Only sufficiently large pieces of Plostrite, or specifically, Vermilionite, may earn themselves the Sunset moniker. This stone is what allows the Jade Chamber to Adepti Sigils serve. Although these 3 items are, I take the saying, you may ask me.
These things won't be easy to get.
Then it's the deal of a lifetime. Haha, what a coincidence. I won't divulge too much.
No. We better move quickly, or this opportunity will be snatched away from us.
Ningguang's rebuilding the Jade Chamber? This is a huge deal! Let's get involved!
So you heard my announcement, did you? What do you think? Interested? Yes. Providing the question pertains to something I am knowledgeable about.
Really? Ooh, then Paimon will ask you about how to run a business. Then we'll never be short of more.
Of course. But the construction of the Jade Chamber, I have other business to it. Remember, this...
Ningguang seems super busy. Come on, first we gotta get out of Eugene Terrace. Huh? Look! It seems...
Ma'am, you seem like an eminent and distinguished young lady to me. As it happens, we...
No, I don't need it.
Don't be like that. Hey, come, why don't you stand there after her?
Oh, right, yeah.
Did you hear that? They said they had some useful information. Information's just what we need right now. Let's follow them and see what we can find out.
Блин.
They're not here.
Apologies, my liege. So long as this
Well, will you look at that, ma'am? Nowhere left. Don't worry, we're not bad guys. You give us some more.
Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. Look at her, the white hair, the energy she gives off. I'm telling you, there's something different about her.
So what? She's loaded. How?
I've already told you. I don't need your information. If you still can't grasp that...
Come on, ma'am. It's not about whether you need the info.
I won't...
No more excuses! Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, then seen you at kiosk. How could you afford to be so...
Master warned me not to lay a... But here we are.
Boss, I'm telling you, something's not...
What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll sue her for everything she...
Oh, you again.
The Millilith? What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to mind your own business!
Silence! How dare you threaten innocent civilians? You're coming with us.
No, don't be angry, sir.
Shenhe.
Shenhe?
My name. I've heard about you two before. Thank you for helping to defuse the situation. I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect...
You can't do that! That's why this is Lila Harbor!
Laws. No.
Really? So, how exactly have you...
That would be my stomach growling. I haven't eaten enough.
She's so honest. Wait, that's right! They said you went around, then of course you...
Chingson, Glaze...
Kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Boo Boo Pharmacy's not far away. After all... Psst. Do you think Shenhe might be an Adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor, and she doesn't seem to get how things work here. If she is an Adeptus, that would explain everything. Where did...
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do hope you brought your prescription.
Chingson, Glaze Lily, and Violet Grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go. That's everything we have in stock.
Thank you.
She's really eating them!
My hunger has now abated. Thank you. Rather awful. Though they were not completely devoid of sweet fragrance. After...
So, how come you chow down on these and barely touch the restaurant food? If Paimon had enough, Mora...
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious, but should I return to the mountains, yearning for the food here shall only pose an obstacle to my continued spiritual development. Sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountain?
Enough about me. What are...
Oh, right! Paimon almost forgot! We came and...
I see. I heard...
Yep! You get to ask Ning, were you interested in the...
I came for the rebuilding of... However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to lend you my assistance. Oh, don't worry.
Wow! But having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole lot...
Then let's not delay. I have a plan.
Great! Paimon bets this is gonna be the awesomest plan ever!
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, this plan can be classified as... We simply need to dispose of it.
Veto!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence about conflict and one...
Look, we want Sunset Vermilionite.
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there. So, it's you.
Baizhu? What are you doing out here?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang needs so much wound dressing all of a sudden?
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Maybe for its first aid on site? I didn't ask, though. Far be... Oh, and she also borrowed Chi-Chi. Meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now. I don't suppose any of you are looking for part-time work by any chance?
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here though, you seem to know a lot. Have you ever heard of something called Sunset Vermilionite?
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? There is some mention of it in the 7 mountain treatises. When activated, Sunset Vermilionite rises up all the way into the clouds. It's very rare indeed. As far as the records show, virtually all Sunset Vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession of. But the Feiyun Commerce Guild would know far more about this than I do.
Okay then, let's go ask at the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Thanks, Baizhu.
You're quite welcome. Good luck to you all. And if there's anything further you need from me, just come to the Boo Boo Pharmacy.
I can't read what this says.
Please, show me your prescription.
I still have a lot to do at the guild.
Please,
how about you
show
take
me
a
your
rest while I go back?
Please, show me your prescription.
I can't read what this says.
Please, show me your prescription.
I can't read what this says.
You should really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time.
Please, show me your
I can't
prescription.
read what this says.
Please, show me your prescription.
I can't read what this says.
Please, show me your prescription.
Чел, который написал в статусе ВК Genshin для пидорасов.
I can't read
Я его
what this
кидаю в
says.
ЧС. А ты не забудь еще из группы исключить.
Please, show me your prescription. Please, show me your prescription. Please, show me your prescription.
У меня... А, боже, серьезно? Он меня сюда отправляет.
Guess we can rest a bit.
Значит, я не смогу. Потому что он меня отправляет именно в тот, куда надо, но я не смогу туда дойти. На Европу надо заходить, походу. Ладно, наконец-то его.